What up, though, everybody? You are now under the black top where we try to get our act together and find strength and unity in the circle of life and friendship. I am Billy.
I'm Timbo.
And I am Ray. It is nice to be here. Nice to be with you guys, chatting it up. How you been, Timbo?
I've been making it. That's all I can say, I guess. No, I've just been realizing we are doing a lot. It's just like I have a lot going on as far as different things that I'm doing. So it's just I got to work to not get too overwhelmed and still stay focused on everything at the same time. So yeah, and just trying to get used to TikTok. I'm on TikTok now, trying to
Man, there we
understand how that
go.
works. It feels like a learning curve because I feel old. Uh, but yeah, so that's cool. If anybody's on TikTok, you can follow me at ObaLaurenTico08. A lot of my paintings are on there in real life color, so you can see them.
There we go. Man, that's
Yeah.
good stuff, man. Welcome to the TikTok game. I'm pretty sure that my wife will walk you through anything that you need to know. She
Okay.
doesn't post, but she definitely is on there, and she know how to share. So, you know, we will make sure that she follows at the very least. To
Okay.
kind of
Thank
get
you.
that content out there. Billy, how you been, man?
I've been good, man. Just the same kind of same space. Symbol is in. It's an important space. How about you?
Um, Man, it's been interesting. I've been in an interesting headspace. Actually, first off, thoughts and prayers to everybody in Buffalo
Yeah.
involved surrounding the shooting. And it's just crazy just the hate out
The
here right now in
racist
the world.
attack. That's what it was.
Yeah,
What happened?
like
Can you tell, can you tell me what happened? Because I saw a couple headlines. I just didn't have time to read the articles. Can you tell me what happened?
I mean, basically we just had a young, I think he was 18-year-old, um,
Yeah.
made the time, went 3 hours out his way after researching where popular black neighborhoods were, and went and with his
When the
AR
scores were
style,
busiest.
yeah, went with his AR style rifle with um racist epithets written all over it, and went and proceeded to kill 10 people, I think was that last I heard,
Yes,
and
10.
other
They
people
were,
were, go ahead.
yeah, they were all over 60, most of them.
Yeah,
So
so
these were the elders of our community that he shot at. So
yeah, and
You what?
yeah, and they found all of this. They found a bunch of information basically after they searched his home, and
yeah,
basically if he would have got away with it, he was going to do it again, from what I've been hearing. And it's just the ongoing investigation, but it's hate at its finest. It really is.
They give his age?
I believe it's 18.
yeah, 18, 19, something like that. Not very old at all.
Yeah,
That's ridiculous.
it is. It's sad.
That's an understatement. Huh. Okay.
Yeah, it's fucked up. It really is. I don't know. Oh, and he live streamed it. I'm sorry.
He
If I
did
didn't,
that. I
if
missed
I
that
didn't
part.
drop that on there, yeah, I'm pretty sure. I believe I read that also, that it was on Twitch, that they pulled it down quick, but that, yeah, it was on Twitch, and that it was this 4chan community that was kind of sharing it, and this is crazy. So
Yeah, I'm speechless, bro. I don't have words. That's ridiculous.
I mean, yeah, and it's sad that this is just almost commonplace, right? Like that, the hate is just like that one, that the mass shootings
Hmm.
is. I don't know, man. It's a lot, especially considering the books that we're reading, and
Yeah,
just a lot. Even just our topics later with our segments, crazy. So thoughts and prayers to everybody involved.
for sure. Yes.
It's messed up, you know. Other than that, though, I've been cool, you know, and trying to push through. Actually went fishing with a friend of mine a
Okay,
few
how was
days
that?
ago. That was really cool. He actually owns
It's
a
not
boat.
for me.
Well,
It's not for me.
let's see. Now I can get that because it's not for everybody. We actually were on. We went on a boat, so we were actually out on Lake Sinclair, out fishing, and for a few hours. It was really cool. One, fishing was cool, but boat life is actually something else too. Just being able to cruise the water, and it's just a different type of experience. Just to be
Yeah.
on the opposite end of it. It's nice being. I've seen boats in the water. Going through marinas or whatever. You out there by the riverfront, and you see
Oh yeah, being on
boats in
one
the
is a
water.
totally different thing.
But
Hmm.
actually being on the other side of that, and actually seeing everybody kind of looking at you as you kind of going through the water, and you kind of seeing just the different vantage points of just some of these just houses and some of these boat launches that they had. It was just amazing just to see. So it was really cool. Um, Something I want to continue to do. So the, my son already likes to fish, so it's something I think I'm going to invest
My
in
thing is,
and
I'm impatient. I think
really
that's what
do
it
it.
is. It takes. I'll
Oh
be just wanting the fish to just jump on the hook, I guess, and they don't.
man, we should give it a try because it'll be cool, especially if you go with maybe light company. You can go and you can
Yeah,
talk and you can kind of just chill and
yeah, make a day of it.
yeah, even without the boat, just go off a pier and just just fish and just have a good time. I think it'll be cool.
There's a there's a guy on YouTube. It's this uh page channel is called Fisherman's Life, and
Hmm.
I'll periodically watch some of his videos. And the dude will just get in a boat or a kayak, take you on like you're in the boat with him, and fish and cook it and eat it, and then just go on about his day. It's one of the coolest things, bro. It's
See,
one of the coolest. That's how I know I'm not a kayak person. He got in the kayak, and you can see how much water. When you go down, man, you're going all the way down, and you're in this little tiny floating device, and you're not worried at all. I need a little
Canoeing is
bit,
the
but that's
same
not.
way. It's just no.
But
It's a no for me.
seeing it, you know what I mean? Maybe it was a canoe. Maybe I have my boats mixed up.
No,
But seeing it,
it probably is kayak, but it's just like they're just too small. That's my point. Both of them.
oh, not for me. Nope. But I'm glad he did it so I can see what that's like. Being that close to the water and then seeing
That
fish
whole
and then
part, like, yes, I'll watch somebody
uh,
else do it.
see, that would be something. That's what I want to do next. Is because I actually like fish, so it would be cool to actually catch and actually keep, because we all knew it was catch and release. We're catching smallmouth bass, so it's cool to do, but it's not the kind of fish that you traditionally would eat. Although some people do eat it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about
So,
the fish around here in Michigan.
but
Is it really that good? Like the
man,
local
nah,
fish?
you can get some walleye. That's some good walleye.
Okay,
So
I have to
at
try
least I've
some.
I've caught walleye before. I went on a charter a few years ago. I had the opportunity to go on a charter a few years ago, I should say,
Okay,
and we caught the fish, and then they deboned it and everything for us and cut it and filleted it.
awesome.
So then we were able to take it home. So it was cool and it
Walleye for
was really
everybody.
good. So it is some good eating out there.
We're
Hey
gonna have to
man,
make that happen. I like some fish. So
there we go. Teach a man to fish. Well, no, I see it as more than fishing though. That's what I was getting to. I want to learn how to actually gut it and cut it and all of that. I don't know how to do
yeah, you
any of
lose me at that point. Like
that. Yeah,
I'll
like
get the fish. I'll hand it to
right,
somebody.
right. At this point, that's where I'm at. Right, I can catch the fish, and then if you give it back to me, I can season the fish and cook the fish. But
That part.
that middle part is where I'm gonna need a little more hands-on experience.
Right.
Oh
Okay.
man. All right, but let's jump right into it. What we listening
Yeah.
to, Timbo?
Apparently, the album I had picked last time, I don't remember this, but it's called Motomami by Rosalia. It's a reggaeton album that came out this year. So what did everybody think?
Um, considering that it was all in Spanish, it was funny. I actually found myself liking and vibing to quite a few of these songs.
Hmm.
I like the upbeat, catchy tunes, even without understanding. It was like just the feeling kind of transferred by her voice was evident there to me. It was a few songs like I really like the Como Unji, Well, I don't speak Spanish, so I don't know how to.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's como un G, I guess.
Yeah, and Boularice or Boularice and G3N15, which was
Yeah.
good. Like it's just her voice was really nice to listen to. So although I didn't understand it all, and it was a moment where I did try to look because I was able to find the English translation of it, but I was just having a
It's
hard
on Rap
time.
Genius. You have to look a little bit. But
Yeah, so
I only
well,
did it
and
for songs that I like, though.
well, right. So I tried to do it, but I was having a hard time listening to her sing in Spanish as I was
For
trying to
sure.
also read. So I was like, I'm just gonna come back to it. And
When you're dealing with the Spanish to English, it's still interesting because I still find myself like, huh? Like still having to work through that, even once it was translated to English, really trying to delve into it. So
okay, see, so yeah, so I do want to maybe I'll go back and just like you said, kind of just pick the songs that I really liked because there were a few that I really liked. You can hear and feel, the passion kind of there.
for
So
sure.
I'm like, man, what is she singing about? So,
Mm.
but yeah, I liked it. More than I thought I would, considering I didn't know anything that she was saying. Well,
That
no,
part.
I can't say I didn't know anything she was saying because it was some ABCs that I heard in there. It was
Apparently, there's a song called A
there
B
was some
C D
one,
E
two,
F G.
threes in there. I think it was she was counting to like 20 or somebody was counting. No, it was like little drops of
Little
English in
refresher
there.
courses from
You
Spanish,
know,
101 and
little
102.
yeah, some little
Little razzle
interesting.
dazzle.
Yeah. Oh man.
What did you think, Billy?
I like the album, man. I like the music. I enjoyed the surprise. I didn't know that was gonna happen. Uh, I liked, what is it? La Fama or La Fama, La Fama?
Okay.
Bullaria, whatever. I think like that one. Bullaria. I kind of like Tente, G3 and 15. And no, and like maybe Lacombe Versace. I like those. And those are ones that I could understand when I went and looked up the lyrics. But
Hmm.
even when I looked up the lyrics from the other ones in English, I still, I didn't get her lingo. I
Yeah,
didn't get
that's the thing. It's like I feel like we would probably have to know maybe her local dialect, probably, and they
that.
because I feel like it was like maybe figures of speech that they use that we don't use. That's why that was there. That's yeah, for sure.
Yeah. There were parts that made sense, but the other parts that was just kind of tough to read through, and really get.
But I
But I
honestly
just,
felt like that with British Sea Power, like trying to decipher their lyrics. I felt the same way, honestly.
Hmm, interesting.
yeah, I guess the English just makes me feel more grounded, you know.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But yeah, definitely. Yeah, what'd you think, man?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. It was. I definitely like the whole that reggaeton always has going. I like that
Yeah.
little beat. Um, the songs that stuck out to me the most were Saoko, the first one, and Candy, the first two. I kind of
Uh,
like that. Hmm?
no,
Oh, okay. I did like the G3 N15. Uh, and then I kind of like Diablo too. Uh, I liked to me it was I didn't completely understand the subject matter, but I felt like there was an even mix of because in one of the songs she had "Kiss Me Through the Phone" playing like a sample of it, and she was
hmm
singing very seriously at the same time. So I think it seems like to be a theme of that throughout the album, like her kind of doing something that's maybe a little bit seriously musical while something funny is still happening too. It seemed to be kind of a play off of that in certain tracks. So that's just something that I noticed. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. It was different. I'll definitely listen to the tracks that I liked again without a problem. Um, just uh, like I said, I wish we had a little bit more insight onto the writing and how that was done, so that could help us understand what she was trying to convey a little bit more. But other than that, Ray was saying, a lot of the emotion was still felt through the singing, even though I didn't know exactly what she was saying. I felt like I could definitely still tell a lot of the narrative. So yeah, enjoyed it.
Good stuff. All right. So I guess if that is all, then we will move on to our album selection for next week. Maybe we will get one in English. It's just interesting because last week we
You
had
tried it. You
yeah
most definitely will.
two of our three selections last week were not. So let's see what we got. This time around, though, it will be something that we want to listen to, or I shouldn't say want to listen to, but maybe something that we're, more anticipating. I am going to go with, of course, highly anticipated Kendrick Lamar, Mr. Morale, and the Big Steppers.
I didn't even
Uh,
think about that. Yeah.
Timbo, what you got?
I'm going to do Heterosexuality by Shamir.
By what? What did you say?
Shamir. It's a non-binary singer, apparently.
Hey, Billy, what you got?
Dawn FM, Weekend.
Okay. Speaking of the weekend, it was cool to hear the weekend singing in
Yes.
Spanish on this album.
Uh-huh. That was a
That,
nice little
that was
feature.
dope. Yeah. Okay. Timbo, you are taking the album away.
Okay. And what was the other two albums?
So we
Oh,
got
sorry.
Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers
Hmm.
by Kendrick Lamar, and we have Dawn FM by The Weeknd, and we have
I'm gonna
your
take off Donna. Huh?
okay. So Billy, it is down to. Well, I guess you know what it's down to. Heterosexuality by Shamir or Mr. Morale by Mr. Lamar. It's interesting. Why is it such a difficult decision for you?
Because I know how he is.
Because
He can't make it.
Yeah,
You have two good albums, and he can't make a decision.
all right. Yeah, explain it to the
I
people.
heard the album. I heard the album already. I don't go into it yet because I'm gonna be dissected for a bunch of different reasons because of how dope of an album it is. And I don't want to rush into like this next 2 weeks just doing it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not ready to go. And I didn't want to listen to it in the first place because I just want to take my time and get to it. But it's
Mhm.
happening now. Kendrick Lamar is an amazing artist. So just gotta get with the program, man. So I listened to it, I did it. Okay, it's off my chest. Then you bring it up in the show. I don't wanna I don't want to stop to give so much attention to this album because it deserves so much attention.
Mhm.
I don't want to pick something over that. The album is sweet, man. It's dope.
I personally started listening to it and stopped and said, just in case we pick it up, let me wait. And so I think I only listened to, because it's kind of a, I guess, quote unquote, double disc in that sense. So I kind of listened to like the first nine. And I was like, man, let me stop right here. I'm gonna bring it up to
Just
the pod and see what's what.
yeah, we go ahead. We go ahead and just listen to it. We'll just
No,
listen
don't let
around.
me sway you. I mean, I was just adding just background conversation while you were thinking.
No, that doesn't sway me.
Okay, okay. All right, well, cool.
Yeah, sway me.
Kendrick Lamar, it is.
Okay.
Are you happy about that, Timbo? Are you a Kendrick
That's
fan?
cool.
I believe that you
Yeah.
are a Kendrick. I mean, no, I mean, I know that you don't care what we listen to, but I mean, are you a Kendrick fan? Is more what I'm getting at.
Yes, I'm a Kendrick fan.
Oh,
I think he's
okay,
the Beyonce of rapping.
I feel that. I feel that. I can get behind it. I can see people feeling that. I think he's at the top of his game right now. Um, I think that it would be hard to find a solid. What's this? His fifth studio project?
See, now I feel like a bad fan because I have no idea. But yeah.
Well, I think. Well, I guess I would say I think it's hard to find somebody who's been consistently as strong as he's been with his projects.
Mm.
He gets
I mean,
stronger. He gets stronger
it's amazing. So I'm
in
ready.
veins that you don't even know where he's going. You don't even know where he's going to end up. And the album is the same, but it's different. But it's the same, but it's different every time. And it goes directly to your soul. You know what I mean, dude? This is special artist. The whole, I'm looking at some of the track lists. Can
Hmm.
you hear me or no?
Yeah.
All right, let's making sure headphones sound like they just dropped out and died during this. But I was looking at the people on each production. It's like 5 or 6 people or more on during each song, if I remember correctly. So I'm already in the mindset, okay, I need to start paying attention to this just to see where's production going. Like how much of this is going to change the next wave. But you got so many influences on these songs that make it what it is. It's just a beautiful thing. Shouldn't be trying to glean from it what's the next wave. Just find that same center in yourself and then convey your story or your message or your feelings or your whatever to your own artistry and production.
Hmm.
Come on, bro. What's next?
Man, he's just a goat at doing it, man. Like before we even move
That's
on, did y'all see the Heart Part 5? It's
I haven't seen the video. No, I've
they got
heard
the
about it.
right. So they got the Heart series, and it was just really cool because they were using the deepfake technology. So he was actually morphing faces as he was rapping, and so the content of his songs was kind of matching with the stuff in his face, like when he started talking about being bipolar, or started talking about just bipolar in general. He switched to the little Kanye face, and it was just really cool just seeing how he was rapping from different perspectives. And it was a few people, like I saw Kobe in there, it was Nipsey. It was
Yeah,
just really
Nipsey.
cool watching him just shift through in the technology. And this dude is like, you feel like he at the top of his game, but like Billy said, he just gets better. So can't wait to,
he
like you
gets
said,
stronger. Like what he gets stronger. Like he get closer and closer to what he cares about. That's something that you just don't fall off. You just ascend. You know what I mean?
it's
That
amazing.
makes sense. That is amazing. What else do you really feel that way about? That's delivering to you.
So, I mean,
Nobody.
how many out there?
I'm talking about to you. Is there one that comes to mind?
Artists in particular?
Yeah,
Um, well, I don't know. I'm a
that's
Cole
enough.
fan. I'm a Cole fan.
That, that's the only other person I have to think about it. So
I'm
this
a
one
Cole fan.
of a
Yeah,
kind,
but
like legit one of a
even then,
And a
kind.
it's
lot of these
different
kids hate
though.
Yeah,
both of them.
Yeah, true.
It's
But even
sad.
when I'm
Cole and Kendrick is different too, though. When you kind of just looking at, I mean, it's
But they're both conscious. That's what I like about them.
yeah. So,
they are, man. Yeah, it's great. It's great. It's great.
All right.
all right. Well,
Okay.
moving on along there. All right. So we are in our reading,
Oh, it's like no.
right? Chapter 7. Um, of our book, White Fragility. Or not our book, but the book we're reading, White Fragility.
Yes. The book we're reading.
Chapter 7 is racial triggers for white people.
Who'd have
Uh,
thunk it?
right. So she kind of introduces us to the habitus concept. And I mean, I don't know. To me, it really seemed like anything that's challenging the
They're
norm
right, or what
is
they
a
think.
trigger, right?
Hmm.
Like,
Or their thinking. Anything that challenges the thinking is a trigger. It's really what it is.
yeah,
And
it's
then
kind
this
of like an open and
stonewall from
shut
there.
case.
Like, and she said, like, what's the lady's name? The first lady, Michelle Fine, the insulation of whiteness, which is what protects you from the challenges or ever having to deal with being challenged on your whiteness or this whole concept. how she just keeps putting the thing inside a capsule and then puts it inside a bigger capsule and puts it inside a bigger capsule, and the understanding just grows from the ground up, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Um,
Just, I don't know. This one was, I don't know. I wish they wouldn't be so sensitive. We could like be so much better as a people if we could all just like take a damn breath and come together.
Dude, this thing with the teacher um was a great example again of the insulation and the habitus. That's amazing to me. I don't know what the teacher did, but they just automatically knew the right to survive in a space like that by saying, you know what, it's okay. Don't worry about it. To not challenge the status quo, which again perpetuates the insulation,
Mm-hmm.
forces the whole problem. And that's just at a teacher level. What about a doctor or pharmacist or a lawyer or a judge?
Or
yep.
everything.
Sucks, right? Or everything.
I
And
mean, especially.
you still had to go talk to a white person after that, try to get them to understand. And they're like, no,
Mhm.
it's not us, it's them kids.
Yeah, that whole concept was interesting. I mean, that example was interesting, and I guess the thing that I found most disheartening is that like those are the people teaching our kids. Like those are
Mhm.
the people leading the youth, and they have these feelings and these thoughts that are already ingrained within them, and they're not gonna pass
So
that
they're
on
teaching
to
from that.
they're
Hmm.
not gonna pass that on to nothing. They're not gonna
Oh, they are.
teach
That's
that
right.
way. Like
Of
it's
course.
sad. You know.
It is. It's extremely sad.
Yeah,
And
but
imagine how many of them things make it home. They didn't make it home to tell their parents. They just took it and was okay. How many
hmm
don't have to worry about any type of justice or court issues?
yeah. I mean, you're right. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I haven't really got much for this one. It really was just it to me.
Yeah, it was cut and dry. That was what I thought,
People
basically, what I
are
read.
upset by everything. I mean, these
Mhm.
interruptions can take a variety of forms and come in a range of sources, including suggesting. I mean, then she goes on to. I like that she does that. How she goes on to point them out, but then she um says what the issue is too, like
Mm,
suggesting that a white person's viewpoint comes from a rationalized frame of reference, that's
right.
challenged to objectivity, so I like how she actually did that. Like, okay, well, this is the interruption here,
Now,
and this is what the issue is, and this is what this interruption is, and this is what the challenge is here. She kind of broke that down, and it was just like for everything. Like
Mhm.
it was
the
annoying to read almost.
I think what you brought up about happiness is like really, really important. I like how um I like how she's giving references to people who just break these concepts down into way more understandable systems, like
hmm
capital and was it capital and field and habitus? They kind
Yeah,
of
when she
all of a structure.
yeah, she kind of broke it down into it was habitus field and capital. So with
Yeah,
the habitus being kind of thought of as the person's familiar ways of perceiving, interpreting, and responding to social cues. The field would be the specific context, social context that the person is in, i.e., like a workplace or a school or something like that. And the capital was the
hmm
social value people hold in a particular field. So then she kind of went to talk about how certain things can shift, like capital is something that could shift. When she kind of talked about the upstairs, downstairs, you may have a situation
right,
where,
right.
like the janitor comes upstairs to do work and he's around all the, the white collar people, and he doesn't really have capital there. But that capital kind of
Mhm.
shifts when you have to go downstairs to the janitor to get something from him, and you're then in his domain and he's the in
Hmm.
the, I don't want to say dominating position, but he is the person with more capital in that.
Right.
So it was just
Right.
interesting how she kind of just went to break all of that down and how it all just kind of intertwined, because that's all it really is. Just looking at this habitus
Yeah.
capital field thing, because it kind of just depends on the field. So you look at the field of the workplace. Depending on your
Exactly.
workplace, you can have a completely different habitus there. My habitus is completely different from Billy's, which is completely different from Timbo's. And
But I
it's
think I'm sorry. Sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I think
Well,
what
no,
he's
I
getting
guess
at
the
that
perception is the same. The field is different. I'm sorry, but go ahead.
right. Well, that's what he's like. It's the problem that happens to people who have been insulated, specifically, concerning your race, and then been built up. Your happiness is to go fall back to, yeah, it's not me, it's the kids off rip, and then you're already in the field where you have all the capital. How she even though she separated the capital, she's like more than likely, the not only is the aesthetic going to be different for the people in these positions in this field to show like the contrast or stark difference, more than likely the office worker is going to be white, the janitor is going to be black, which is how it is.
That's
This
how it
off
is.
rip coming into the system, like still having these labels to really help me see the structure of it all, and it's more the roots of how it just really affects my perception, my
Hmm.
perspective. It's informative for me. And I really, there's one thing that stood out. She said that I think she was talking about those teachers, how they were unable to separate intentions from impact, which is so important if you really care about, I guess, anything. To me, it's the argument of, are you right or are you effective? There's a difference. But I think even her quote is more important, because whether you're right or wrong, it doesn't matter what you intended. What was your impact? And you are insulated from having to be challenged about your impact over your intention.
And it's just
Off rip in every field because you
in
got all the
every,
cap.
and that's the thing, because it's a society that was made. It was the first FUBU, man. I swear.
Right. They definitely, it was for them by them.
For
Very much.
real.
It's giving for you by you. It's only you.
Yeah, be interesting chapter, my G.
And this is wild. It's wild.
Yeah, I have to admit this was not my favorite chapter. Maybe because of the subject matter. I don't know. It was kind of like, I don't know. Kind of like we may be trudging through a sore spot a little bit. I don't know, but it's fine. It was
I
just
mean, I kind of knew that anything could be a trigger, though, right? Like they get mad
it's
over
Right.
obvious.
they can get mad over everything.
Hey, come on.
Mm,
Come
Which I
on.
think
For the
that's
sake of
both
the book.
ways too, though. 'Cause I think that we are real quick to be like, oh no, racist. Like, wait a second. That may not have been racist. You was wrong right there. Like, why I gotta be racist?
You
Like,
said you was wrong right there. Like
there do be
it's
certain
right versus
situations
wrong.
like that.
That's
I
the
get what you're
truth.
saying.
But
The
Free
truth.
Pookie.
far and
Pookie was
wide.
wrong though.
I mean, he was wrong, but
Right.
the system. Oh man.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else on this chapter? Anybody with the book next to him? To know the title of chapter 8.
The title of chapter
It is
8 is
the result. Life agility.
it's the result for me. I'm sorry, that's why I was chuckling. I'm like, okay, so this means we get to some brass tacks here.
Um, yeah,
uh,
that's exactly kind of what it sounds like. That's funny.
So let's see.
So we will see what's going on with that one next week.
For sure, for
All right.
sure.
So
Next
moving
episode.
along to our segment. Um, yeah. So segment this week is power versus authority. I'm not sure how we got here, but it is interesting.
it's a idea that I came up with because I'm always thinking about the history of words or how words work or why we use them. And so a lot of times you hear power and authority together. So I was wondering what the difference was, if there was any similarities. And I'm really interested to hear what Ray has to say because he said he did some research and I did some too. But he just,
Well, no, yeah, I just looked it up just a little bit, but just right off top, it just kind of seemed like the power is like an ability versus right, like
okay.
legal right, not
Hmm.
what's right and wrong. Like I guess power, in my thought estimation, would be, the actual ability to get something done or to do something, whereas the authority would be, um, will you go to jail for that? It wasn't right for you to do that, and but then who's to say what's right and what's wrong?
Hmm.
The authority figures thought it was fine to kneel on someone's neck. Was it right? They were in authority. They also had the power, but they
Yeah.
were dead wrong in that situation. So
Dead
it's
wrong.
it's interesting
Hmm.
when you kind of think about it. Even just this thing, my man's, does it even matter? That's what I was alluding to earlier when we first started the topic when it comes to the Buffalo shooting. Like, does it
Okay.
matter if authority versus power? If you don't have the authority but you had a power, so you do it anyway, does it matter? I mean,
I
I
get what you're
guess.
saying,
I mean, it's
but
always interesting. So those were just the first things I thought about when a topic kind of hit the group chat. But what did you guys think?
it's interesting. What about you, Billy? What did you think?
Uh, it seems as though authority is a type of power, and power is kind of a thing on its own. I do kind of get the whole authority, like have somebody having authority over you. But again, anytime I just look up the definition of authority, it's the power to do something, the power to make you do something. When you lose authority, you lose the power to enforce your authority. So it
Hmm.
seems it's really just it's a type of power, but you can have authority and other power, and they can be separate. You know what I mean? Like you said, you
Mhm.
can have the
They're not
authority,
mutually exclusive. That's what I
Mm.
realized too, basically.
right? Yeah, but when you got your knee on somebody's neck, you got the power to take a life that has nothing to do with your authority. Mm.
Right.
Like, oh, yeah,
Beyond
that's
your authority at that point, technically.
yeah. So
But
that's
some
how
people
I
would say
feel.
that it's not though, and that's just the thing. It's what is authority?
Uh, exactly how you define it. The same
You
thing for
know?
power. Exactly. But can you have authority without power? Or does it matter if you can have authority without power? You just don't have the power to enforce your authority, which
See,
kind of was
that's the
interesting.
thing.
Can you
I feel
have
like you can
authority
have
without
power with
power?
authority, but you can't have authority without power.
Right, like a square is a rhombus, but or what, whatever, however that goes.
Mm,
A rhombus is a square, but a square isn't a rhombus. Okay.
so, yeah, interesting.
I don't know. What do you think, Timbo?
Yeah, I just basically,
Yeah.
like I had already said, what y'all were just discussing,
Yeah.
is basically I realized it's not mutually exclusive. I feel like, yeah, you can have power and authority, but you can't have authority without power. It seems like an oxymoron to me. It's like maybe in some weird way, authority is like the special sauce on top of power. That's kind of what I'm getting out of it. It's like, because you can have power and actually not have authority, which is a crazy thought. Because you will always think that, oh, they come together, but not necessarily.
No, they don't come together at all.
So,
I
Huh?
mean, well, they can come
Maybe,
together because you
yeah.
can't have
maybe it does
as power and authority.
because
I mean, but it's a
your
limit.
power blends into authority, depending on what power you're talking about. Because there is
Interesting.
one power that is authority. If you have it, they come at the same time. Or if like you just want to muscle the whole block and you can beat up the whole block, you just come over and take the block. You use your power to gain authority. You know what I
Mm,
mean?
Right.
yeah.
In that case, it would go hand to hand,
Interesting.
or it
Huh.
could go
All right.
hand to hand. It's depending on how you look at it.
Yeah.
But then it, but then who? Just because you can, don't mean that you have the authority to. Just because you can and you did, well, I guess if you did, then Did you? Didn't you
You didn't
have the
have the
authority?
authority.
But you
You didn't
did it.
have the authority to do it, but you gained the authority by doing it.
That's interesting. Seemed like one of them hat questions that we usually would get.
It does.
Mm.
Uh,
Is that a good segue into hat time?
I'm staring at it the whole time.
So yeah, let us know what y'all think about power versus authority. How does it work? Do they work together? How do they work separately? It's just
Yeah, you can definitely have power without authority. You have authority without power. I guess how would you enforce the authority?
that's what I'm saying. It's like you can't have the authority without power.
Like the Pope, right? The Pope got mad authority, but do they? Can he necessarily enforce? I guess it's a belief system at that point. That's a religion, which is completely different. That's a different kind of authority, I would think.
Still a power.
It is.
But still,
That's a whole different kind of
so
conversation too, though.
you're talking from the end of authority. If you actually have it, it seems like you have power. I don't think. I think from the perspective of authority, there's just no splitting them. But from the perspective of power, it's just the type of power that you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like if you have authority, then you have power. It's almost you have authority without power. I can't. Yeah.
That's what I'm like. I don't see where you can have a authority without no power. It's like it seems oxymoronic and
Mm-hmm.
the definitions based off of definitions and how they work.
Right. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, okay. Y'all ready for this question?
We got.
I guess I can't be no worse than
All right.
authority versus power. It's like no.
Yeah, it's not that bad. Records, tapes, CDs, MP3s, streaming. We grow up with what is good and bad about each.
Okay, you said you cut out a little bit. I heard everything you said. You said, "What do we grow up with?"
And what do
Yeah,
you think
which
is
one
great
did
about
you
it?
grow up with and what is good and bad about each?
Okay.
You heard all the options?
Yeah. Let's run them back one more time, though, please.
Yeah, list them or something because that's a lot.
Records, tapes, CDs, MP3s, and streaming. I think I grew up with all of these.
Yeah,
Well, that's not fair. I probably
we're in that
listen.
situation where we got both, all of it. Yeah.
It's interesting
I
that you picked
grew
it
up with,
on.
but I didn't put my own records on. Oh, I do now,
Yeah, now you
but
do.
I didn't. But I would say it started with me with tapes, and I guess I didn't see a problem outside of having to flip something over to rewind it, or when you only bought a tape that had 4 songs and you only like 2 of them, and one was on each side. Like, that was annoying.
They would melt in the car.
It would melt in the car.
If you left it in the car, in a hot car, yes.
Why you leave your tapes in the car?
I
Your
didn't even know they
tapes.
can. I didn't know they can melt in the car.
But no,
It happened when I was a kid, that's for sure.
It's
oh,
interesting that you that this question came up with the news of the iPod. Basically being
oh
discontinued.
yeah. On the iPod? Yeah.
I think
RIP to
that
the
was
iPod.
MP3 and MP3 players was for me probably the biggest thing, just to be
Loved
able to
it.
go
Still love
from
it. I don't want to do it no
carrying
more, but yeah.
a million songs in your pocket. You ain't have to have the CDs where you have to, you know, go through. And even with the CD players, right? Like they were cool. You got a CD player, but they still skipped. Even if you push the little ESP button, it's still gonna skip if you walk too
And they were
fast or
bulky.
if you. They were.
I had some good CD players, man. Mine didn't really skip like that. And I
Man.
took some kind of pride. I took pride in having the whole big collection because all my friends, especially like the people that like music, had the big collection. It was
Hmm.
just this huge thing of artwork and colors and pictures on the album. And it was just cool. You get to show free, like, hey man, I got Mariah Carey over here, I got Black Eyed Peas over here. It was just cool. All that personality in one box. That was
Right.
pretty
And talking about the pros and cons of it, right? The pros of CDs and records, and I guess tapes to a point. Um, the album art, be able to actually
Yeah.
look at it
Love it.
and
cool.
go through and actually turn the pages, like it's something that's so
And
cool.
records, fam.
Like You can't
Cause
do that
you
with
the
an
gift you
MP3
got me,
or streaming.
but you can do it. Like the record you got me has a poster.
Oh yeah,
That
they got
just
straight like
art.
yeah,
The
straight
album
poster.
has
It's so
a poster.
cool.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
You're absolutely. I love
Like,
what else?
and another pro and con. Well, it's a pro and a con depending on what you're listening to. Of records, it's not as easy just to skip. So you have to sit there and kind of vibe with the whole project as it was intended.
Yeah.
And for good or for bad, you got to listen to it. You have to listen
You
to it.
sitting
You
there like,
could get
I
up
can't
and
stand this
you
whole
know,
first half.
but
I
yeah,
hate
but
this
if you
whole first half of this album.
if you got like, oh, I love everything but that one song, you probably gonna listen to that one song because you ain't gonna go and skip it. So, but it's nice just to be able to
Right.
sit back and just vibe and listen to a full project as opposed to if I'm streaming something, I'm just gonna go to the song I like every time as opposed to starting a project from the top and just vibing out.
But I'm a
I
huge fan of streaming. Huge fan of
I
streaming.
agree,
Just saying.
and I think that also affects, maybe in a good way, maybe in a bad way, how people make or don't make albums anymore like they used to. Their approach to songs and songwriting and making sure you got like some good songs on there so they come back and buy your next album and not just come back and listen to that song again before they go to sleep. That one
Right.
song. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of strange. One thing I loved about CDs was how pristine they were when you had to listen to the whole thing, but every the mix, I didn't know anything about mixing. I just remember hearing the clarity, crispness,
Yes.
the
Good
air
player.
or lack. It was just something about the space in the rooms that you can be in with headphones on. And now you're not gonna get that with streaming unless you pay for high fidelity. That was just something I remember coming with the CD because that's how you made music. It was just automatic. You didn't
Mm-hmm.
have an option, you know? So I kind of miss that. I do miss that. I do not miss the headphones that we have for Walkmans and CD players before they really we had these. Like the way to listen to those things. No, no.
That's a
I
good point. Yeah, that would definitely be a con of the whole CD tape um era. It's just the headphones
yeah.
that we kind of had, which I'm sure they had high quality headphones, but I don't
They
feel as
were
if they were
comfortable.
or as cost efficient as they are now.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, now both so much money there. So
Hmm.
much money. Yeah, I can still feel when my ears hurt from them hard Walkman headphones, like right there on that part right there, dude.
Yeah,
I can uh
because it ain't had nothing but just that little bit of cushion just over the
Right,
little.
that little tired dollar store cushion that they would put on there.
Like,
I did like that Walkmans had radios. I didn't like that these things ran on batteries,
Yeah.
but I always had batteries. Like it didn't whatever I had to do to listen to the music didn't
mhm.
bother me because of the music. So I didn't care that my pockets might not have been big enough to put the CD player in it. I just hold it in my hand. Like I just didn't care because that's all you had. I didn't have options. So I
Right.
don't look at it.
I would have liked a clip, but it wouldn't have worked because it wouldn't. I guess because it couldn't lay flat, it would have to lay like that, and of course it can't play like that way. But yeah, it was just like they called it a Walkman, so I was hoping I could have a clip for my CD player, but I did not.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just did not. So
Yeah, I
that
don't
was
know.
a
I
missed
guess
opportunity there, I think.
it all has its place. Because even a downside of streaming, like I guess Billy, you could brought up one when it comes to the high fidelity. A lot of times you got to pay extra for the high fidelity, streams, and then you don't actually own the music either.
Right.
So it's been a
Mm.
couple times where I'll have something in the playlist and you'll go back and try to listen to it, and now you can't listen to it, or it's gone or grayed out or something for whatever
Right.
reason.
Hmm.
That don't
Yeah.
happen with when you own it or if you have the MP3s or that kind of that deal.
Right. CDs did scratch that.
Yeah.
But I do like how much my reach is so. so much bigger, or I can reach farther with her music that I like to, I want to hear, or music I never would have reached me before because I never would have
Mm-hmm.
bought that. It's just available to me. I can just open up my phone and say, you know what? Play and see what
Absolutely.
happens with that.
Half the music we listen to on this pod is stuff that we wouldn't go to, you know,
Yeah,
Mhm.
would not,
without
I'm not
streaming.
saying 15, 12, 17, just just to hear the music each time. Oh,
Right.
no, you're not. No,
But back in the day,
but
music was cheaper too, though. When it like, I want to say it felt like it was like $10 for an album.
yeah, on Tuesday, if you go to Best Buy, I think that was,
It was
I think
$20 for a brand new one. It was like $10 for one on clearance.
those ones, and you had ones that were like you get it for like 15.99, like 18.99. You wait for them to go on sale like Walmart,
Mm-hmm.
like that
Okay.
kind of thing. Yeah, the prices they fluctuate. 12.99. Yeah,
You know, maybe you can speak from it from the musical perspective. How much harder is it to press vinyl compared to CDs? Like I noticed that because
dude.
I was looking for just certain albums that I like
Uh,
on vinyl, and it's so hard to find. But of course, you can find them on
I don't,
CD. I mean,
I don't know if it's difficult because there aren't enough places that print vinyl. I really don't know. I remember seeing like this. Was it Jack White who made a video about he owns like some printing presses and he wanted to bring the vinyl. It was interesting because his perspective or his what he was talking about was that there was just a problem with printing music. He wanted to help the music industry, and I think one of his ideas was to having more warehouses to print these things, or
okay.
maybe for independent artists to print their own music. I don't even know if it's like a split factory. If you do acetate on one side and you do CDs on the other, I really don't know.
Yeah, I wonder. I'm gonna have to do a little more research into that
Hmm.
because I know they typically tend to cost a little more, which I get that. Okay. But it's just the availability is way off. And I don't know if it's just a supply and demand thing where people just don't really seem to want vinyl. So as an artist, why make something that, you know, it's not a demand for? Or if it's, you know, just more cost intensive or harder to make.
My Jaguar vinyls took forever to get here. And I pre-ordered them. It took forever to get here.
Wow.
Forever. Past the date that she told me they were going to be here, and I didn't even care. I was about to email her because it was so late. Not her, but whoever the handled this.
I know, right? Like
And
you just email her like you said my
Mm-hmm.
vinyls will be here.
no, really, because I really wanted those vinyls. I wanted them so bad, and I caught the email that said, "Yo, your stuff is shipped." I was like, "Yes, yes." I was so happy. So I don't know why. Maybe it's like it takes a really long time, to print out vinyl versus CDs. I don't
Yeah. Interesting.
know.
Well, I don't know. People out there listening, if you know, let us know.
Let us know. Yeah, Timbo, where can they let us know at?
Blacktopasylum at gmail.com.
Awesome. Ray, where can they watch us slash? You can only watch us here. Where can they listen to us?
Yeah, that's true, man. You can only watch us on the YouTubes, but you can listen
Yeah.
to us. Honestly, if you can pull us up on, if you got a podcast catcher, just type in Blacktop Asylum and we should come up and listen to us.
What's the podcast catcher?
Just any kind of app that you use. There's so many of them that can just connect to like the iTunes. So like I use Podcast Addict, but I know you could use Stitcher, or you could just go to Spotify, or you can go to Apple Music, or you could go. You know, it's just so many places out there, and I think we should be on them all. So wherever you listen to us and share.
Yes. If you like the show, let us know. If you hate the show, let us
Let
know.
us know.
Like, comment, subscribe. As Ray said, share. And until next time, the Black Top is not closed. Peace.
Have a good night.